How y'all doing, YouTube streets? How y'all doing, YouTube streets? I'm gonna give y'all a second to come on in. I'm gonna give y'all a second to come on in. Give y'all a second. Yo, 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 we back. We back. Tonight's topic is Debbie Collier and what we know about her. What's going on with her. It's like unsolved mysteries right now with Debbie Collier. We're gonna get the latest updates and find out who she is and what's going on with Debbie Collier. Uh, I'm learning just as well as y'all learning about this case and what's really going on. So tonight, by the time we get through running these news clips and everything, maybe we'll know a little more of what's really going on with Debbie Collier and her death investigation. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I don't know, the last thing the Dollar General or something. And they found her, you know what I'm saying, deceased or whatnot. Is she from Athens, Georgia? Athens, Georgia? Somewhere. But we finna learn. I see the last place she was seen in Family Dollar or something. We're gonna learn a little bit more about Debbie Collier and what's really going on and what's taking place. You know what I'm saying? Because right now it's like I'm learning the case just as well as y'all learning the case. We're gonna get to it and see what's really going on. Run us a couple news clips. See can we learn a little more about Debbie and what's taking place. It was like 2 weeks ago on this one here about it, and we don't see what's really going on, what's taking place.
Debbie Collier's gained international attention as Habersham County investigators continue to work to find whoever is responsible.
This after the body of the 59-year-old was taken to the GBI medical examiner's office for an autopsy. Fox 5's Eric Perry has followed the story. He joins us from the live desk with the latest. Eric?
Yeah, according to Tom, today marks exactly 2 weeks since the 59-year-old was reportedly last seen alive by her husband. Investigators say they need the public's help in piecing together clues as to who could be responsible.
The Habersham County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigations Division has executed several search warrants at locations directly tied to the victim and have conducted preliminary interviews of those closest to the victim.
Okay, they conducted search warrants on people who close to her. What they thinking? They thinking like a family member has something to do with it or somebody close to her? I don't know yet. We're still here to find out.
How and why the body of Debbie Collier ended up in a remote wooded area over 50 miles away from her home remains a mystery. The 59-year-old was reported missing September 10th to the Athens-Clarke County Police Department. The next day, September 11th, a Sirius XM service pinged the location to her van. Chief Deputy Murray Kogat of the Habersham County Sheriff's Office released this recorded message as the story continues to gain international attention.
And that the last communication from the missing person was a transfer to the daughter of $2,385 with a text message tied to the Venmo transfer stating, "They won't let me go. There is a key to the house underneath the flower pot."
Kogat says K9 units were brought in to search the heavily...
Man, from my understanding already, it seems like the police think it's a connection somewhere with somebody who know her. They angry.
Wooded area.
The search resulted in the locating of a red tote bag, a partially burnt blue in color tarp, and eventually the victim's partially nude and burnt body grasping a small tree down a ravine.
Why is she nude? That's the crazy part. Why is she nude? I ain't understood that yet.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since her disappearance and the grim discovery, and still no word on a motive, suspect description, or any answers. Fox 5 reached out to the FBI, who sent this statement saying, quote, FBI Atlanta is aware of the case. At this time, The matter is being investigated by local authorities. The GBI had this to say, quote, the GBI Medical Examiner's Office is conducting the autopsy, but those results will be handed to Habersham County as we are not involved in the investigation.
At this time, there is no evidence to suggest or support that this incident was related to a kidnapping or that this was a suicide.
So,
see, you hear? They thinking something. You know what I'm saying? They ain't letting the public know what's going on, but in their eyes, they think something. They thinking something. We're gonna keep on. We're gonna run another clip. See, can we learn a little more about Debbie and her disappearance? See, can we learn something else about her or more about her, whatever. Yeah, we're gonna see what else going on. Somebody knows something.
Athens' mom who disappeared and was then found dead near Tallulah Falls.
Investigators today saying there is no evidence that this was a random attack. They are calling her death deliberate and personal.
You see what I'm saying? They think it personal. You know what I'm saying? They don't think it's just a random act, a stranger or somebody who just did something to this lady. That ain't what they thinking. They thinking it's somebody who made Noah or something. That's what they thinking, from what it sounds like anyway for right now.
11 Alive's Kiris Belger has the latest from the Habersham County Sheriff.
Today, investigators released a new photo of the car Debbie Collier was driving when she died. It's the latest clue in what they say is a very complex case. Today, investigators gave us this photo of the black Pacifica Debbie Collier was driving the day she disappeared.
She was seen traveling northbound on Georgia 15, just north of our crime scene.
The image was captured on Tallulah Falls school cameras and is timestamped 2:17 p.m. on Saturday, September 10th. Her car and body were discovered about 24 hours later off an old logging road. Lead investigator George Kaysen says the photo could help them narrow the timeline of events that led to Collier's death.
We're still following up to see if we can actually get confirmation of this van being there at certain times.
Earlier this week, 11 Alive obtained this footage of Collier at a dollar store the day she was reported missing. She's seen buying a poncho, torch lighter, and other items, most of which investigators say were recovered at the crime scene. She was seen alone on that video.
Okay, that's strange, ain't it? It's kind of strange, ain't it? The things that she bought at the Family Dollar. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's strange. We don't think Debbie is suicidal, do we? We don't think it was a suicidal attack or something. I don't know. It just seemed like the thing that she bought from the Family Dollar is kind of strange and weird. And why would she go in there and get that, purchase them items? I don't know. Let's get to it.
Her daughter says Collier sent her Venmo for nearly $2,400 with messages saying, "They are not letting me go." Kaysen says they're waiting for phone records to determine if Collier did in fact send that message, and for an autopsy to be completed to determine how she died.
We have not changed our...
Okay. She didn't send the message saying, so they say. So they still trying to investigate to see if she really sent the message. But so far, she didn't send the message, a Venmo for $2,400, and send a message saying they ain't gonna let me go. And from the camera, she ain't held hostage or nothing. She just came up out of the Family Dollar store. So what's really going on in this situation? Sound like to me, it sounds sketchy. You know what I'm saying? Everything allegedly too, because I don't know. I'm lost too. I'm still trying to find out. But everything sounded strange. You know what I'm saying? Because they send the Venmo and saying they ain't gonna let me go, but which she will apparently clearly see that she was by herself. So we don't know. We just still learning to catch up on it.
Calls about this being a homicide. We're still treating this as a murder investigation, and we will not change that.
Investigators say no one has been ruled out as a person of interest, but they're still trying to piece everything together. In addition to looking at phone records and conducting an autopsy, investigators say they're looking at camera footage from the surrounding businesses and also bank records. In Habersham County, I'm Kara Spelger.
Bank records. They trying to see how somebody been scheming this lady. That's what they trying to see. They looking for bank records now. They trying to see have anybody been scheming this lady out some money, finessing or whatever. That's what they trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? There's when they saying a murder investigation because they trying to say somebody murdered this lady. You know, so they trying to narrow it down. So that's what the investigation seems like it's going to know. That's what it sounds like. So we're just gonna run another clip and see what, you know what I'm saying? See, we just basically getting an update on what's going on.
The murder of Georgia woman Debbie Collier was deliberate and personal as officials work to determine who killed the 59-year-old last month, leaving her body burned in the woods miles away from home.
Oh, okay. I done learned something else new. She burned. Her body has been burned. Come on. Her body been burnt. You think somebody set themselves on fire? I don't know. I don't think so. But her body been burnt. That's wild.
Collier was reported missing by her family on September 10th. A day later, her body was recovered naked in the woods more than 50 miles from her home. Authorities say her body appeared to have been burned and that she was gripping a small tree. Her cause of death is still not determined.
She gripping a small tree. It sounded to me she was trying to hold on, wasn't she? Sound like to me she was trying to hold on.
Officials are calling her death a homicide. Collier was captured on surveillance footage purchasing several items at Family Dollar prior to being found. Those items, including a tarp and a red tote bag, were reportedly found near her body. The case grew more mysterious after it was revealed Collier sent her daughter nearly $2,400 through Venmo just minutes after Collier left the store. It reportedly had a note attached saying, "They are not going to let me go."
Okay. 58-year-old lady sending a Venmo. A 58-year-old lady now sending a Venmo. I know lots of old people, and a lot of old people don't know how to work their phone like that. You know, now if she have in the past, then yeah, she probably do know how to work it. But at the same time, something to look at. A 58-year-old and send some money through Venmo. It sounds sketchy, don't it? They keep catching up. See what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm new to the case, just like y'all new, some old to the case. I'm new to the case, and I'm still trying to learn what's going on. And with this news, it helped me get there.
Though officials say there's no indication Collier was abducted. Terry, I know it's cliche, but follow the money. It often works. So does that...
You heard what he said? Follow the money. You're right. Like I said, they investigating the bank account. They trying to see how she been schemed, who been going into their account. This is what they looking at. And then it putting the daughter right into place, because why is the daughter received the Venmo? You know what I'm saying? I understand it's her daughter and everything, but she received the money. So they gonna look at her because she received that money. Now they finna investigate this checking account and see how the daughter been running into that money. You know what I'm saying? They know how to do their job when they do their job. You can believe that. And everything is allegedly.
$2,400 Collier sent her daughter just before she went missing seems strange. And could it be that she knew something was going to happen?
You know what, Brian, this entire case is extremely strange. You do have to follow the money, though. I agree with you there. And if you follow the money, you trace Collier's last steps, it really could be that there was an abduction and there was an attempt to extort her. Perhaps her abductors wanted her to purchase the materials to cover up her own body, and they didn't want those materials to be traced back to them. And if that's the case, then that's like a...
I understand all that. But what don't make sense is if you being kidnapped or abducted or anything, you don't walk into a family. I mean, you don't walk into a Family Dollar. You don't tell nobody. You don't inform anybody. You know what I'm saying? Ain't like the murderer or whoever standing right beside you or anything like that. I'm just saying, let it make sense. You walk into a Family Dollar and purchase all these items and you don't inform nobody. They don't being abducted or somebody outside trying to kill me, somebody out there waiting on me. You don't inform anybody. Oh no, it just ain't making no sense.
Psychological terror. And maybe they wanted the money to come from the daughter, and the mother was trying to get the daughter the money. The prosecution's going to have to put this all together and make sure that they have a theory to tell that jury.
Yeah. And Dr. Pearson, obviously the police know more than us, but this murder looks more like it's sick and sadistic than deliberate and personal. But what do you think?
Sick and sadistic can, in fact, be deliberate and personal. It depends on the circumstances. I think we need to look at the information we have available. In this situation, we know that she was found naked. That could be humiliating, sadistic, if she were alive to appreciate it. But let's look a little bit further at what the police have said. They've said it's personal. Crimes that are personal tend to be things like stabbing, strangulation, poison on occasion. Gunshot wounds are not considered to be personal. That's typically done from a distance, unless it's by execution style. So then we're left with torture. And when you look at the totality of the facts that we do know, and not including the holdback evidence that the police are hanging on to for the purposes of investigation, it remains to be seen whether this was really a personal event or a deliberate act that was done by people who didn't know her.
See, that's what I'm trying to find out. Was it personal or what it was? You know, like the news so far I heard, it seemed like a personal act. It ain't a random act. It ain't like somebody who just caught out here lacking and just did some tour. It don't sound like that to me. It sound personal. You know, so I don't know. It sure sound personal to me too. We're gonna run another one. We're gonna run another one before I get out of here and get a lot more update on what's going on.
Pulling up, doesn't like that parking spot. Let me get a closer spot. I do that all the time. Pulls in.
This is going to the
Family Dollar. I mean, nothing unusual.
She'd have pulled in Family Dollar.
Except the fact that it's an hour north of her house. And there's like 15 other dollar stores she could have gone to. Why this dollar store? Why in this part of the state? There you can see she's dressed up. I live in Georgia. She's dressed for the game, folks. Maybe not to go to the game, but maybe to watch the game or listen to the game or meet some people who were going to watch the game. Doesn't make sense to me. Now, let's take a look at the timeline to remind you of everything. Timeline, very important in this case. And it all begins 217. Debbie Collier's vehicle is seen traveling northbound on Georgia 15, just north now of where her body is found at the crime scene. 255, that's just saw, and then she gets out and she enters the Family Dollar store. She's in there for a little while. At 3:09, she is seen checking out and leave.
See what I'm saying? She by herself this whole time. If you know somebody out there, you're going to inform somebody, I'm assuming.
Leaving the store, she bought a blue tarp, a red tote, a lighter. She bought some paper towels. Then at 3:09, she's in her car in the parking lot of the Family Dollar for about 10 minutes. Okay, so that's till 3:19. But at 3:17, this is so significant. A Venmo transaction with that cryptic message we've been talking about sent to Debbie's daughter, Amanda Bearden, for $2,000.
Do you think she's been sitting in that parking lot the whole time because her daughter instructing her how to send that money through Venmo? Do y'all think that? Or was there anybody in that van with her? What do you think? Was there anybody in that van with her? Or was that her daughter that had in that parking lot so long on the phone or something, trying to get her to send that, show her how to send that money? I don't know. Everything allegedly, though.
300 and some odd dollars. I think it's $85. 3:19, her vehicle leaves the Family Dollar and heads south on Highway 15. Let's bring in our guests, our investigators.
Okay, now she's leaving. Now she's leaving. Somebody know where she headed to. Isn't there somebody, maybe the person she sent the money to? Somebody know which way she headed. Somebody know her direction. I don't know. Everything allegedly, no.
Bobby Chacon and Trebor Randall. And joining me now in New York City, senior reporter for the U.S. Sun, Luke Kenton is with us. Luke, great to see you again tonight. Now that we've seen this video of her arriving, once again, tying that timeline together, it seems like she's by herself. There's no indication of anyone else in that video.
Yeah, it does certainly seem that way, you know.
You're right. In the video, it ain't nobody else with her. Didn't nobody get out of the Family Dollar store with her. So we clearly see there weren't nobody else there with her. But she was in a van. Was somebody laying down in the van? Was somebody on their phone when she got back to their van?
We have theorized before on this case, if somebody was perhaps in the back of the car, if that is the case, they have to have entered the car before she pulled into that parking lot, because what we can see from that surveillance camera.
Sandra, I'm with you. The van did have dark windows. So anybody could have been in the van, laying down in the van, or anything. I'm with you, Sandra.
That nobody other than Debbie either enters or exits that car at the time that she's parked out from the Family Dollar store. She kind of enters just after 3 p.m., appears to enter like down the side of a McDonald's chain. We don't know if she was in that McDonald's yet. I'm sure that's something police are looking into.
And then another thing, I'm like that. I'm like you, Sandra, because that's clearly what I was saying. Was whether somebody laying down in there? Or there's a car pulled up right beside her. Okay, I ain't see that so far. I haven't realized that. But a car did pull in right beside. Okay, I'm going to go back and check that out later on.
But there doesn't seem to be anything overly suspicious in the build-up to her entering that store. And when she's inside the store, as we've seen before, she seems calm and she seems normal.
Oh, okay. You said right at the end while she was parked there. Okay. So you might be right. Somebody could have been parked there the whole time watching her, and could have been the person on the phone or anybody. You may be right.
Now, Luke, when it comes to the other people connected to Debbie, is there a clear picture yet that's been released by investigators about where everybody was that day? Everyone else of significance in her life. Her husband.
Yeah, he had a nice question. Where were everybody else in that day? You know what I'm saying? Her significant others. That's a good question. I like that. That's a nice question because I want to know where everybody was at. And the main person I want to know where was at, where was their daughter? She gonna have to give me the, you know what I'm saying? Where was their daughter at?
Her daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah, with Debbie's husband, Steve, he was actually at the game parking cars. He's accounted for between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. that day.
Sandra, I thought about that too. I thought about the exact same thing. I thought about the daughter may need that money. Either the daughter may be in debt with a drug dealer or in debt some form of fashion, or the boyfriend could be an addict. And they needed that money. And either that money or her mother. It was going to be one of the two. And the people could have been like on hits like that. They could have been following the old lady the whole time. You know what I'm saying? They might got a 2-in-1. They might got the money from Venmo and killed the woman. The daughter done sent. You never know. You're right. You got a point, Sandra.
Law enforcement sources have said that there's surveillance footage that supports that claim. As for Amanda's whereabouts, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure that's something that's been kind of discussed at length by law enforcement. But we know that she was among the first people to kind of raise the alarm about her mum's disappearance. That came roughly 2.5 hours after she received that suspicious Venmo payment. And that call was made by Debbie's husband, Steve, at his home.
You might be right. Yeah, it is weird. The whole thing is weird. It ain't adding up. That's when the police investigating the way they investigating. They investigating people who know them. And now out here just searching for a random suspect. That's what I'm thinking too.
6 p.m.
All right, Trebor Randall, this is your neck of the woods. This is Georgia. What are you thinking about this case? I mean, very strange circumstances. The Venmo message, the Venmo, they won't let me go. The place where she was found, and just the fact that she's an hour north of Athens on game day.
Vinny. Okay, I see what's going on now when they said she was dressed to go to the game. You know what I'm saying? She had the Georgia colors on. And all this happened on game day. Oh, okay. It's weird.
From the very beginning, this seemed a little strange to me.
No one haven't said what happened to her body exactly. You know what I'm saying? But they did say they sent it to an autopsy. You know, but they really ain't said the way did she die. They haven't said that yet.
I'll admit that to you. Starting with the message. You know, again, having done this in work cases similar to this, you know, I've never had a situation where my victim was able to send a text message to anyone if they've been kidnapped or taken or just before their murder. That was unusual to me. Usually you only see a phone call if, you know, somebody's holding someone, as we mentioned earlier, for ransom, and say, you know, call this person, give them some instructions. Even more unusual watching her in the store. There is no doubt in my mind that she was not under any type of duress or threat, because she just would not be able to hide that. I assure you. If someone was waiting in the car, for example, or, you know, saying, hey, you know, go into the store, buy these things, don't try anything fishy, right, like they do in the movies, she would not have been able to remain that calm. However, maybe if somebody that she was familiar with asked her to stop and pick up items, that will ultimately...
That's what I'm saying. I think someone that she knew gave her directions to go to the Dollar General to buy them items. Okay, that's to know her whereabouts before they kill her. That's what I'm thinking too.
You know, evidence at a crime scene, she would not have thought of that. You know what I mean? Such as a tarp. I may say, well, what are you going to do with that? But she would not have thought, or she wouldn't have been, you know, hinked up at all if maybe somebody she had known had asked her to stop and just pick up some supplies.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's somebody, that's the whole thing, is the money. It's a money situation. And they benefiting from the money. And like I said, that's when the police investigating the way they're investigating, because they think somebody been scheming this lady and finessing out her money. That's what they really thinking.
For them. So from the very beginning, this case started off really, really strange.
Bobby Chacon, we just covered a case where we saw an abduction on video, and we saw how it all took place. We've got video here. I don't see an abduction, but that message is kind of strange, but the message seems to be sent from the parking lot. And I don't understand the wording of it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and I agree that she doesn't look under duress at all in that store. And so I don't think she was under any kind of duress or threat when she was in that store. She exited the store and then the text takes place. I would be leaning hard on the daughter to say, why did your mother send you this money? Is it your rent?
Okay. Everybody aiming for that daughter. Everybody at the daughter neck, because it sounds so strange and so fishy. That's the same thing I was saying. Anybody who knew if somebody out there watching them or anything, they would have told the folks inside the store or called the police or something, because she still had her phone. That's what I'm saying. Like Sandra said, okay, it's 10 on the window, it's dark in that van. Only way she feels so comfortable if that daughter could have been in the backseat of that van or anything. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't so suspicious to the mama because the daughter just a normal person who would be riding with her or something. But, you know, it's still allegedly. We really don't know yet. But she been guided by somebody. I think it was the daughter.
Is it some kind of car payment? Why is your mother sending you this money?
Oh, she just moved back there 2 days before? Who, the mother or the daughter?
Because there is some reporting out there that says the daughter's boyfriend owed criminal fines and penalties in almost that same amount that the Venmo payment is for. And so that's the only that's the only connection that I've seen reported so far. But I'd be asking the daughter, what was this money for? Was it for your rent? Was it for your car payment? Why is your mother sending you this money? If she doesn't have a good explanation, you know, I'd look a lot closer at her.
And Luke, what are we hearing from the daughter and the daughter's boyfriend? Are they
publicly speaking about, where they were or what the Venmo transaction was about or anything along those lines?
After kind of this case became, the national interest story it is now, they were quite vocal for the first few days afterwards. Particularly Andrew Geigerich, who's Amanda's boyfriend, Debbie's daughter. He's spoken quite publicly. As to the Venmo transaction, they haven't really spoken much about, nor have they about their whereabouts. They did say,
look what he said. They ain't speaking much about that Venmo, and they ain't speaking public much about where their location was at. Them the things they trying to hide.
They'd last seen Debbie the day before she went missing. They said they went out for lunch with her. She took them out for lunch. That is when they claimed to have lost.
Look, day before she done took them out for lunch. They were plotting in.
Seeing her, and I'm not sure if Amanda spoke to her mother on the phone in that time. They haven't specified, but they have been awfully quiet since then.
Everything allegedly.
We don't know in this case, who is being treated as a suspect and who isn't, but something that Andrew did say to the press is that he has been interrogated, as has Amanda. Their phones have been seized, and they said they feel as though they're being treated as suspects. We know they served a search warrant at their home 3 days after Debbie's body was found, and we know that they spent 6 hours at her home. What we don't know is what they found, if anything.
All right. Our guests are staying with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about something else that happened to Debbie prior to this, a car accident. That was the reason she was in hers. It was a rental. How that could potentially be connected to all this. Plus, coming up next hour.
Well, that's what they saying. Sandra, hit that subscribe button so you'll get notified every time I go live. I'll be needing someone to talk to in the chats. But it's wild. It's weird. It's wild. It's crazy all the way around. Because it's crazy. It's wild. So it's hard to say. And then, you know what I'm saying? The only thing we can say, everything we say can be allegedly because we really don't know yet. And we don't want to point fingers at the wrong person and it be somebody else. So we're going to say everything we're saying allegedly. I think the daughter playing a major part inside of it. I really think she playing a major part in the whole situation. And you got to think about it too. The boyfriend in the background, he playing the background guy. So we're going to keep our eyes on him too. He might got a drug habit or we don't know yet, but we're going to keep an eye on everybody right now. Y'all hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Every time I go live, you can get notified. You know what I'm saying? We're going to run a little bit more before I get out of here. And because I really want to know too. And it's weird. Yeah, poor lady, 58 years old. She did not deserve that.
This time, there is no evidence to suggest or support that this incident
the boyfriend's going to trick your daughter. Same thing I'm saying.
This was a suicide.
And what they've also said in Harrison County is that they don't believe this is a serial killer either. So they think it's someone that knows the defendant or knew about the victim in this case. Fascinating stuff. Now, we now know that Debbie's husband and daughter both called 911 when they realized that she was missing, but there was an additional call to 911.
Sandra, I said the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. What is suicide? But it's hard. And I don't think nobody do it that way either. Because to burn yourself, I don't know. It's kind of strange. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking suicide because, when people reach a certain age, you know what I'm saying, they mind get to playing with them. They, you know what I'm saying, get mental unstable or whatnot. And they think, a lot of old people think suicide. So that's the same thing I was saying. When she was thinking about suicide herself, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, a really bad way to go. But I was thinking the same way, because some people get unstable in their mind once they get older. So we don't know yet. We're still learning. You know what I'm saying?
Obtained by FoxNews.com from a woman
That's
identified.
the same thing I'm saying. Sandra burning herself.
Diane Shirley.
It's crazy.
Diane told the operator that she had information from her niece that could have something to do with Debbie's disappearance. Take a listen.
From my niece, she said that she was in an accident about a month ago, and she was, on the road. She was following this truck, and this truck lost a paint can, and the paint can hit my sister's car, and the paint went everywhere. And the driver was trying to convince my sister not to tell the cops that he was driving because he was out on parole.
Is that what I'm saying? The niece. Everybody got their little hands in the pot, don't they? I was thinking about the insurance fraud.
Connected to all of this in some way. Let's bring back in our guest, Bobby Chacon, Trevor Randall, our investigators, and Luke Kenton, senior reporter for U.S. Sun. Luke, do we know any other details about this accident?
Yeah, I mean, when that 911 call was first released, it certainly caused a bit of confusion. But in the days since then, we know that Debbie was involved in a similar accident as to what her sister describes in that call on April 30th. So some information.
I understand about the accident situation, and the guy was on parole or whatnot. He didn't want nobody. He didn't want the police to get involved because he was on parole. But you got to think about it. For the accident goes, if he was on parole and the paint can slipped on and hit a car, it's just an accident. That's just an accident. So I can't see this man who once had an accident come back and try to kill this lady. Oh, he wasn't supposed to be driving. I can understand he ain't supposed to be driving, but you come back and kill a lady for something so small? Ooh, that's weird.
Information has come out about the person that she was involved in the accident with. His name was Miguel Martinez. He was 48 years old, and he was allegedly driving without a license.
Oh, you just said that he wasn't supposed to be driving. You just said that. So he out here driving with no license. Whoa. But he got to be deadly now to come back and kill somebody due to an accident. Whoa, he might have been following her for days or something.
The crash occurred. Some sort of metal item fell onto Debbie's car and caused some damage, but nobody was hurt. He has, Miguel Martinez has got previous misdemeanors, allegedly for pulling an ex-girlfriend's hair and various other things, but there doesn't seem to be anything to suggest that he was actually on parole when that crash occurred. He had been on parole, but I believe it had expired at the time of that accident.
Sandra, you sure right. Some people's ears crazy, so you really can't put them past nobody these days.
There's also been no kind of indication from law enforcement that they're looking into that as a possibility, but who knows at this stage.
Bobby, what does your gut tell you on that one?
It tells me he probably wasn't involved. I mean, they would have, if there was more substantial connection, they would have made it by now, and they would have connected him to a parole violation, a potential parole violation that he did not want to go back to jail. I think if that was there, if there was any substance to that, they probably did look into it, follow those leads, and probably dismiss them.
Trevor, I want to get back to where she was. That I can't get my head around it because of the timeline. She's an hour north of where she is, and she's 15 minutes away from the dollar store, but doesn't.
That's another thing. Why is she so far away from the house at a Family Dollar? A long way from the house. So that's when I'm thinking the daughter, maybe somebody had to tell her, no, go to that location. That's what I'm sitting back thinking, like, somebody had to been telling her, yeah, go to that location. To go an hour away from the house to a Family Dollar, don't you know how many dollar stores you have to pass to get there?
Get there until 45 minutes later. Like, to me,
that's what I'm saying, Sandra.
Uncovering part of this is trying to understand why she was there to begin with and where she was just before she went to the dollar store, because she's on George 15, just 15 minutes away from there, from the dollar store, but it's not till 45 minutes later that she gets there.
I agree with you. That makes
yeah, she did. She had to stop somewhere. That is another good question too. Where was she at before she going to the dollar store? Because we need to know why she was an hour out from the house.
Makes no sense. And timelines are incredibly important to our investigations. When you have these mysteries that you've got to unravel, as we mentioned earlier, I think she was following specific instructions that were given to her.
Same thing I see.
Cell phone evidence is going to be incredible. Undoubtedly, I would venture to say that is what gave them the probable cause they needed to search the daughter's residence, is what was on the cell phone. And you have to keep in mind, a lot of people do not understand that just because you delete messages and it's not physically located in the screen of your phone, it does not go away.
Not so loud, Trebor. The criminals might be listening tonight. Don't let them know that. Wow. So
you got to peep out what he's saying. You heard what he said, and he's speaking for the public, huh? Or speaking for the killers. You heard it said, not so loud. They might be looking or listening. He already know it's the killer somewhere scared. Maybe the daughter and the boyfriend. They somewhere scared, watching every news source that come through. They watching every news source. Or the killer, whoever the killer may be. They say they watching every news source like, oh, they narrowing it down. They getting closer and closer. They scared. Ain't it true, Sandra? Right. Yeah, they getting scared and scared.
Luke, the other part of this that I'm trying to understand, and is anyone connected to that area? There's a rehab that is.
Sandra, you right about that. $2,385 is an odd amount of money, ain't it? That's an odd amount of money. I'm thinking they may need it at $2,000, huh? And then $385, they just extra money once they pay their debt with that $2,000. They need that $385 so they can go back and get more dope, huh? Or whatever the case may be.
Close to where her truck was found. What do we know about that rehab? And was there any connection to anyone?
Yeah, why not 2,400 or 23? Just why not just Why not 24, 23, or maybe 2,500? Why not? Man, it don't sound right.
One in Debbie's life.
What it was? What did you say, Sandra? $2,385. They're gonna use the other $85 for some gas, wouldn't it?
So the rehab facility was located nearby is I believe a male-only facility. We don't know if there's any direct connection with this case with that facility, but we do know the drugs have come up a few times in this case.
Drugs. I've been seeing it.
Domestic incident between Amanda and Andrew. That's Debbie's daughter, Amanda, from September last year. Andrew says to police he accuses Amanda of stealing money from him, $500 to $600 a month.
Look, the daughter of thief. The daughter of thief that stole some money. Drugs been coming up. Sandra, we've been narrowing it down, haven't we?
To buy drugs, and then accuses her of possibly being on drugs at the time of the dispute. Again, we don't know if that's true, but that footage has been released. Also, with Andrew, something that I uncovered this week, that his mum was actually sentenced to 30 years in jail last year for attempting to sell meth. So drugs and money have come up in this case lots of times, but there's nothing at the moment about what we know about this case to link anything to that facility. But it certainly is an interesting coincidence.
Absolutely is. And again, we will continue to follow all the.
Well, Sandra, you might be right. It sounds weird. It sounds fishy all the way around. And drugs have been coming up. Amanda boyfriend, mama was just arrested for crystal meth or whatever. You know, I think it's a money thing. Something dealing with drugs. I think it's the same thing. But who or what what the motive may be, we still don't know. We lost. Yeah, they're the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. Sandra is always the background player who caused the most damage. The most damage. Yeah, they got a lot going on. Too much going on. Too much. A 58-year-old lady, she did not deserve that. Period. You know what I'm saying? They got too much going on. Same thing I'm saying. Man, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep y'all updated on this case. I'm new just like y'all knew. I see Sandra, she been watching it on the update on it. I think the same thing, Sandra. That's the main question. Was it someone in that car? Was it somebody in that car? Or was it the daughter coaching her over the phone? That's the reason that police took their cell phone too. They trying to search them the call records and text messages. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying too, Sandra. Because she'll feel comfortable with somebody she know in the car with her. She won't inform the employee or calling the police or anything because she feel comfortable with the person in the car. That's what I'm thinking. Because if you got a stranger on your backseat with a gun and you get out of the store, you're going to tell somebody. You know, that's common sense, I'm thinking. Yeah. No, if they delete them, they still there. The feds still be able to get the message. They can recover them deleted messages. They ain't worrying about that. You know what I'm saying? And if it went no messages or phone call there, somebody is smart. Somebody know what they're doing. Somebody been researching. I don't think it was a stranger neither. I sure don't think it was a stranger. It was somebody who knew her. Yeah. Family member or somebody close to him. Same thing I'm saying. Same thing I'm saying. Well, I'm about to get out of here. Y'all catch me on the next episode. I'm gonna log out. Sandra, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, so you get notified every time that I go live. Someone think the husband? You think the husband? Ooh, I gotta. We're gonna go check. We're gonna research and keep up to date on it. You have a nice evening too. We're gonna go on, get up out of here, man. We'll stay following the case and we'll go live about it again. Y'all take care. We out.